So I just bought this off another collector today. And just so we're clear, I'm not bad mouthing this person. I don't feel any ill will towards them. But man, this machine is a disappointment. It's got the TriStar design. Um, and typically they're very straightforward, simple machines, and they tend to be pretty good performers. But this, no, it really isn't. And just so this is documented, we did have some shipping damage. I, tried taking an initial airflow reading, and then I decided, I'm going to check over the filters. So I open this up, and these two plastic pieces fall out of here. This obviously sits right here. Well, it would sit right in here. So that's where that piece goes. And then this piece came from the inside. But, I was just checking, making sure all the filters were good on here, because I didn't want to preemptively judge this thing on, if it had dirty filters in it, which I wouldn't think so, given, that it came from a fellow collector, but you never know. Never know. So I checked that out. Back filter's just foam. I looked at we have a HEPA cloth bag, which I did some looking, and I think you have to order these from overseas. This may have come with this for all I know. And then we have the inner bag, and then we have a HEPA filter on the front of here. Now, these aren't the original filters that were in here, because he had spares. This and this were the ones that were originally in here. And I thought to myself, I'm going to try swapping these out just in case they're dirtier than anticipated. So I'm going to put the originals back in here. And I did a small pre-measurement on this, and I got 3051 from the end of the hose, which is a little bit under 80 CFM, which for one of these units, something in this price range, like the high-end price range, I think is really quite poor. And I really expected a lot more from it. I mean, I certainly didn't expect it to be the strongest canister I've ever seen, but I certainly thought it would do a lot better than it does. So, HEPA filter back in, bag back in here. Nice little HEPA bag. And I know some people have wondered, about the electrical connection on here. They must run the wires right through here, and then we have a direct connect on there. Shut this. Now, I did try initially taking an airflow measurement from in here, but this lip is a little bit small for my cone, so it didn't really work that well, and air will flow around this outer channel, so that did not work. Before I forget to mention it, we have a speed control, which is very unusual for this type of machine. You can just spin the power button here. But, I don't like to mess around with that stuff, so we're just going to put it all the way up to max here. And then, of course, it's got a cord rewind, which is also unusual for this style of machine, except for Miracle Made. They've had cord winders for many years. But, we'll just take some end of hose figures here, and this hose end seems to be the same as, like, the Lindhouse hoses, the Rotho, and I feel like there's something else that has this. I can't remember at the moment. Except, unlike the Lindhouse, it's just a simple 2-wire, which is probably a good thing. But I'm going to grab my gauge. I'll be back. This machine is very light. Excuse the mess. So I'm just putting that there to keep it in place because it rolls very easily. But I've got this thing on full power. 80's not bad. Okay. Like I said, I did get 3051 a little earlier. The hose wasn't completely straight with that test. I'll just insert a photo of that. So yeah, it's not a good machine. Definitely not a good machine. I mean, why would you want to buy this as opposed to something like a Miele, which would have more airflow, a similar, well, this one uses the EBK 340, and I'm not doing the full test on this thing. I'm not keeping this. It's like, I've gotten so many machines now that I'm trying to be much more selective about what I'm bringing home, and this is not a machine that would qualify to have a permanent place in my collection. Its performance is mediocre. The motor sound is annoying. Yeah, there's really nothing that special about it. And like, just as a reminder, I don't hold any ill will towards the seller, fellow collector. So, you know, we didn't really have a great idea of how powerful the machine was, and that's okay. Sometimes we just take a chance on that stuff. But I guess, given the cost of these units and kind of the prestige of them, since they're a little bit harder to find in the States, I was really expecting something better out of them. An airflow maybe of like 105 or more, but when we're getting around 80, that is not true high-end territory. That's like old 70s or 80s machine. So Vortech, you fucked up.